Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Learning Torah Lishma. So, people wonder, you know, how do things work? And in a very simple, basic level, whoever is given power, when you see things going wrong, you can assume that the people who are in power are the cause. Let me just give a simple example that most people don't want to say it out, but I'll just say it out. It used to be that women were given more power. That men were given more power than women. And we find that the majority of when there's hurt between man and wife, those bad situations was men, because they were given overwhelming power over the women. Today, however, the women are given close to overwhelming power over the men. So the man physically has strength, you understand? But the woman has the entire country, power of the entire country against. So if you're in like lower level society, so then I guess the strength would be the person who's more dominant. But in the higher class society, it would be the woman. And you have to know that in general, when you see an issues, in general, remember, we're not pointing to a specific case and saying this is how it is in this case. You have to investigate. But when you go into an investigation, you need to go into there with proper knowledge. And this is the more common, and you first look for the more common cause, or the more common reason to what is. And this is something you have to know, And in old, I'm sure women would cry out about the injustices that some of them incurred. You understand? Maybe lots of them, and the funny thing is, it's unfortunate, but the interesting thing is that today that women are given the overwhelming power. Now women use that power, not all of course, but in a situation when you see something happen, usually the woman uses that power. We're not saying that she has, she either uses it completely incorrectly or uses it in a way that overdoes, let's say a man threw something, but not at her, just to throw it, just to show that he's upset. They'll say that he attacked me, and then he'll go to jail, let's say, for 3 years. You understand? There's something that happened there, but she put it in a light that it wasn't. You understand? There's a bit of truth in it, but it's only 10%. 90% is not. If they would have just heard the first thing, they would say, okay, whatever. Husband and wife get into an argument. Okay, if he gets physical with you, then let us know. You understand? If he starts damaging, throwing out your things, or you understand, ripping up your stuff, then let us know. You understand? So you see how people take things out of people can easily take things out of context. And women in general, now that they've been given the power, they have very big power in controlling the moment. They're very good at that. And this is an this is an ability that they have. They're very naturally good at controlling the moment when they want to. Some women, they just do it naturally all the time, and it comes from because you expect a woman to be innocent like a child, so similar to a child, so you automatically are like more hearing what they're saying. And it also comes because they're beautiful, they represent beauty. And they also have a sweet voice. And because of this gives and they could be very they understand when they're going against an opponent. They understand if it's not another woman, if it's a woman to a man, they understand very much what to do. And they're very powerful. And even lots of times one woman, an older woman who's very experienced in using her abilities, and especially using them in the not correct way, she could be, even to younger women, be very tricky. So this is important to recognize and realize. And we have to learn to be a little less judgmental, because women back then were probably complaining about the men, and now men, at least in the more upper society of people, and so even the lower ones, because once they get caught, what they could be put through is hell on this earth, you understand? So to understand, and they really didn't do much, you understand? Let's say you have a scenario that the woman hits the man and then the man hits back the woman. So the fact that the woman hit the man will be looked as nothing, but the man hit the woman will be looked as something. Of course he shouldn't have done that, and also she shouldn't have done that, but just the way things work, you understand? So sometimes when we think we're to be quick to judgment against someone, we have to think, if we would be in their shoes, maybe we would do something similar to what they're doing that's incorrect, you understand? And that should humble us and show us that we really need to work to become a besser mensch, a better type of person, a higher level person, a gooder type of person. And with this, I think with this humility is a good place to start. I love you, and Hashem loves you more.